Hey YouTube, how's it going? So I got a request for another Steel Ocean video, and you ask and you shall receive. So today I think I'm going to do a comparison and review video of Steel Ocean versus World of Warships. The Atlanta gameplay in the background is just for, some entertainment and something to look at rather than, a blank screen that says audio only. Before I get into that though, I just want to say Atlanta Aaa cruiser, best anti-submarine cruiser. You'll see what I mean later on in the video, but alright, so let's get right into it. Things that World of Warships does better than Steel Ocean. I think I'll start with that because the list is very short. List number 1, graphics. Number 2 on the list, the carrier dive bombers can be manually dropped. I mean, you can do it here too, but it's far more accurate when you're manually dropping bombs in the World of Warships with the dive bombers than it is with the carrier dive bombers in this game. Sorry, I'm just getting a little distracted here. Submarine. Are those torpedoes going to hit him? No. Up and here comes the subs I was talking about earlier. But there are a number of differences. You see, like, I'm lobbing torpedoes here. Torpedoes in this game, you can't just pull up alongside a bad guy and just dump torpedoes in him to kill him. They have arming distances, and that's for submarines, cruisers, and torpedo bombers as well. But going back to carriers, the carrier gameplay in this game is far, far, far superior than it is in World of Warships. You can actually choose how many types of each kind of plane you want to take in your loadout, and then you can field squadrons of whatever type of plane you want. They don't have those set loadouts that gimp you in one area. So if you want to go for an air superiority and torpedo loadout, you can. If you want to go heavy strike loadout, you can. I mean, you choose how you want to do it. Another thing is the I'll say this, World of Warships has a better scout plane system than this game does. For some reason the scout planes in this just, A, they don't really have a ring around it to show you the scouting range, and B, the scout planes just, I haven't quite figured them out. It seems kind of weird. God, look at that, that's just beautiful. Look at all that AA. The scout plane system in this is kind of weird. I haven't really figured it out. It doesn't seem like they're actually spotting things, so that's kind of a problem. That said, in this game, you can tell your scout planes and stuff where to go. Another difference in the, and that's for any ship that launches scout planes. Even some submarines have scout planes. Submarines are in this game. World of Warships doesn't have that. The sub gameplay is very nice. Cruisers, specifically light cruisers and destroyers, will have depth charges and stuff, which you can see me trying to line up on this guy now. Just like they did in the real world, so +1 for this over World of Warships. The gameplay in this, as far as I'm concerned, is far superior. I realize I'm jumping around back and forth a bit, but I'm trying. I don't have a script in front of me. I probably should do something like that just to collect all my thoughts and stop skipping around. But going back to the carrier gameplay real quick, you can control your Aaa guns, and that's for all ships, and your secondaries. The carriers don't have any special abilities with their fighters, like barrage, anything like that, but they have something else that World of Warships doesn't have, and that's fuel for the planes. So there's a limited amount of time you can keep them up. I'm not sure if Warships added that, or if they still don't have it. I haven't played in a while, because the game was not for me. But that's something this is something to keep in mind. Personally, I think the fuel system in Steel Ocean is a little light, and they should have some more fuel in there, but they don't have it right now. Certainly not on the early carriers. It might not be as bad on the upper tier ones. They may be able to stay in the air longer and be faster and stuff, but for the early game carriers, it's kind of an issue. And if it is better the later you progress, well then that makes sense, and it's not as much of an issue anymore. Moving over to Battleship gameplay. Battleships in this game, I prefer them every day of the week and twice on frickin' Tuesday compared to Battleship gameplay in World of Warships. You fully dial in your shots and they will actually go where they're aimed at. And another thing with Battleship gameplay is if you fire a fully aimed-in salvo at something, you're going to get more accurate with your follow-up shots to simulate your crew dialing in on those coordinates and range finding properly. That is how proper Battleship gameplay should be. It's a lot more fun in this game. The turret traverse speeds are not as horrendous. I mean, yeah, they're going to be slow. They're slower than any other ship, but they're not like painfully slow like it is in World of Warships. Another thing is you're not going to have shots coming out at impossible 90-degree right angles, even though you're fully dialed in, because this game, while it does use RNG, is not as ridiculous and broken as the RNG is in World of Warships. Going off to oh right, and secondaries. Like I said before, secondaries you control all of them. Anything from 88 millimeters and up, you control. So that's really good. I can't stand the way that they just shoot off into the freaking water and come out sideways and all over the place when the guy's right next to you in World of Warships. On top of that, they have no range in World of Warships at all. Like, none. So, on top of them having crap damage and horrendous accuracy, and not being able to control them, they can't even fire unless you're on top of somebody. So that's just, I hate that about that game. I really do. That's one of the biggest peeves I have with World of Warships. You know, Japan gets their amazing torpedoes and their superior gun range, which they had. They actually had. That's fine. But America, which is a more gunboat racing faction, they don't get their secondaries. Their secondaries never come into play. And both games have an issue where the 5-inch batteries on stuff like the Atlanta and destroyers and stuff like that, and Cleveland secondaries and Battleship secondaries, they're not firing at planes like they did in the real world. They did that in the Battle Stations games, and if War Thunder ever comes out with their ship game, they might do it there too. I don't know. I doubt it, because War Thunder's crap. Like, really, really, really bad. It's super buggy, and I hate everything about it, but it's not what this video's about. Going back to, I guess we're done with battleships and carriers. Again, submarines in this game. The other one doesn't have that, so, you know, +1 there. Cruiser gameplay, I like it here a lot more. You still have the fires and sections of their ship and everything, but they're actually properly modeled in this game, so if you know where the Citadel is on something, or the engine room, and you fire at that in this, you will hit them. It seems kind of random with World of Warships, with the exception of maybe the Citadel, and even that's kind of random. So the ship anatomy in this game is much better. The cruisers' AA armament is kind of nice. They're a very good general purpose ship, but again, heavy cruisers behave kind of like battleships, where they got the artillery computer for over-the-horizon shooting. Light cruisers are more supporty vessels. They're defensive and offensive, good mix on that, and they also carry depth charge rollers, and some of them have depth charge projectors for submarine hunting. So there's your different types of gameplay there. Oh, by the way, any ship in this game, any ship, carrier, battleship, any of them, can carry smoke projectors as a piece of equipment, which is really nice. So you get 3 uses of that. That's something that this game also does better than World of Warships. Another issue where I think World of Warships beats this game out is the ammo. Every gun, even the Aaa guns in this game, require ammo, and your ship carries that ammo with you into each battle. Now, for the majority of the ships in this game, it's not a problem, but with the Atlanta, you only get like 200-something shots, and that can be gone in a few volleys with as many guns as it has. I think they're all sort of kind of around the 200, or it may be a level-based system, because I haven't progressed very far in this game yet, where, you know, the higher you go, the more you can carry. And like I said, for the majority of the ships in this game, that is not an issue. But for something with like an Atlanta that has guns everywhere, you're going to be dry really quick. So that's a big problem that this game has over World of... Well, it's not really a big problem, but it's still a noticeable and an annoying problem that this game has over World of Warships. You do have different ammo types and everything in this game too, so don't worry about that. Let's see, destroyer gameplay. It's about the same. You can't really turn the destroyer's secondary guns off. Or Aaa guns, I mean, in this. Or if you can, I haven't found a way, but you don't really need to. Destroyers are very, very nimble, trolly vessels. The destroyer cruiser gameplay in this game is so much fun. And, and like I said earlier, the Battleship gameplay in this one. If you are frustrated with World of Warships Battleship gameplay, come to this game. You will love it. The Battleship gameplay is great. Just don't do what all the other idiots do. Don't sit there and just think you're invincible because you're a battleship and can fire across the map pretty much with near pinpoint accuracy on your follow-up shots. You need to keep moving and you need to be aware of your surroundings. Otherwise, someone like me will creep up in a submarine or a destroyer or torpedo planes and end you in like 3 seconds. The damage system, let's talk about that real quick. Damage system, personally, I like this one. Imagine, it is still kind of arcadey, but imagine like a hardcore variant of the World of Warships gameplay. You know, that's what this damage system is like. You can kill people with, depending on the gun and the amount of damage you do. Like battleships can end another battleship in 2 volleys, even depending on where they shoot them and how many guns hit. So it's not really one of those things where you're trading shots for 30 minutes trying to kill the other guy. A submarine can be killed by a single good depth charge run, or sometimes it can take 2-3 passes on them with depth charges. You know, it really depends on how powerful your charges are and how much health the submarine has and how accurate you are with them. If you drop them directly on his head, even with like the worst depth charges against the best submarine, I mean, you're still going to do a ton of damage. You may take another run, but you'll kill him real quick. The torpedoes can also hit submarines at depth 1 in this, and also on the surface. So that's something to think about when you're doing that. I've actually sniped out subs in this game with torpedo bombers. It's kind of amusing. But that's pretty much all there is. I prefer almost all aspects of this game over World of Warships, just because it feels so much better. Oh, by the way, the Aaa Guns that you control in this, you may have noticed that I only had 4 guns despite having ridiculous amounts on my Atlanta. The Aaa Guns that you control in this, I think it's 35 through 88 millimeters is what you control. Everything else smaller than that is auto-fired by the AI. So I thought I should just mention that real quick. If I forget anything, I'll probably throw it in annotations or make another video, but that's pretty much all I got. Personally, I like Steel Ocean over World of Warships. It's a much better game. I hope that to continue to see updates for this game. Maybe if the Chinese developers see this game, they'll take some of my feedback into consideration and fix 1 or 2 of those little issues, like the scout and the ammo capacity. But that's about all I've really got. I mean, I just thought of something. This is a little inside joke we have too, but I'll say it while I still have a bit of time. Leave it to the Russians to make something so crappy that the Chinese knockoff is better than the original. With that, that's a good note to end the video on. Thanks for watching. Bye.